Good evening, Rockdale County, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And as usual, I am your host, Larry Cox. It's great to have you guys starting to join me this evening. The audience is starting to build. Let's go ahead and say hello to a lot of you folks that are in the chat right now. And as we'll do that, we'll let the audience build. And as usual, what do we ask? We ask that we like and share the chat so that we can grow this audience, so we can spread the word and let people know some things going on here in Rockdale County. Joey Williams, welcome to the show. Mary Withers, welcome to the show. Cheryl Garcia, Cheryl and Ben, welcome to the show. Corliss Turner, welcome to the show. Kelly Hunter, welcome to the show, Kelly. Judy Bond, welcome to the show. Jill Oden, welcome to the show. And, we always have a few more people that join, and the audience will build as we get going. But it's great to have you guys join me on the show tonight. And as always, it will be an interesting show here on This Week from Rockdale as we discuss things that are happening around the county and events that have occurred in the county. We're going to talk tonight about the town hall that occurred this past week regarding House Bill 741 that Senator Tanya Anderson hosted at the Rockdale County Career Academy. Miss Senator Anderson was there. She had a member of the legislative council there to talk about the legislation. She also had the author of the House bill, Rhonda Taylor, there to discuss aspects of it. And as usual, our other representative, which she is my representative, she represents my portion of Rockdale County. Angela Moore, who represents the Lorraine precinct of Rockdale County, was there in the House representing her constituents at the meeting. And I wanted to personally thank my representative, Angela Moore, for being there and having the back of those individuals who live here in South Rockdale, specifically the Lorraine precinct. Guys, it was a very interesting meeting. There was some comments made there that surprised me by some of the individuals that were there. But at the end of the day, it was a very common sense meeting with a bunch of common sense individuals. Senator Anderson and Representative Taylor, it was an excellent meeting. We had a cross representation of the community there, people who represented, I think, all spectrums of the community. And we got to have an in-depth discussion on what people believed is happening with the legislation, what people believe the makeup of the county government is, and the reality of what it is, and what people would like it to be. So, House Bill 741, it does a couple of things if it would be enacted, and the voters of Rockdale County would get to vote on it. It actually changes the number of representatives from 3 to 5. It would increase the Board of Commission from a 3-person board to a 5-person board. And it would also create districts. Now, there's still a little bit of tweaking, whether that would be voted by on at large or voted by specific district. And what I found it was interesting, and there was a straw poll, a little raise of hands in the room. There were approximately 40 or 50 people there in the room, and they asked the individuals in the room, how many of you would prefer this to be elected by district? And just hands went up, mostly everyone's hand. Then when they asked how many people would like this to be at large, and there was only one hand that was raised that said that they would like the 5 commission districts to be at large. Everyone said they wanted to vote on it by district. And when we got into the conversation, it was very interesting because I made the point, that I've been working on this since 2016, talking to people in the community and raising awareness. And a lot of the people said just like I said, most people believe that they're voting for districts now. They believe post 1 and post 2 are districts. They believe they're voting for a region when they vote for the post one or post two. And the people in the room echoed that. They said, yeah, they believed that they were in districts, and that they didn't find out they weren't in districts until they go to meetings like this and they hear this, that they're not districts. Because a lot of, let's just be honest, there are close to 100,000 people in Rockdale County right now. And most people, like myself, were transplants. I've been here for 20 years now. A lot of people have been here for 20 plus years. The population back in the 1960s was 20,000 people. So let's be real. So if you've got 100,000 people here now, then like, let's be real, 75, 80% of the people that live in this county now are not originally from here. They're from somewhere else. And the majority of the people who come from somewhere else come from district representation. And that's exactly what the people in the room were saying. They were saying that where they moved from, they were represented by districts. So they assumed that they were being represented by districts here. Kelly, I know you've lived here for your whole life, and you're not a transplant, but unfortunately, in the county now, you're the minority as far as the longtime residents, or they are not the majority of the individuals or the voters in Rockdale County. And the majority of the people who have moved here, they're being tricked. They're being tricked to believe one thing when it's not reality. They've all come from places where they've been represented by districts in a smaller voting pool. And it was very interesting. The former county clerk, Ruth Wilson, a very prominent Democrat leader here in Rockdale County, she actually made this statement: the voters have spoken. They've voted on it in ballot initiatives and ballot measures. They have spoken clear. Why are we still discussing this matter? They want a county manager. They want districts. They want expansion. And that is 1,000% correct. That is 1,000% correct. The voters of this county for the last 20 years, there have been various ballot initiatives put on the ballot asking these questions. And it didn't matter. And this is where I come down and I talk to you. The reason it hasn't happened is because of party politics. And it was party politics when Democrats were in charge, Republicans were in charge, then Democrats again. So it goes back to party politics and the party protecting party interests, not protecting the interest of the citizens, protecting party interest and not the interest of our citizens. So, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to right now, the local Democrat Party is trying to protect their kingdom. They don't want the possibility of an independent or a Republican or maybe a Democrat that's not a Democrat they favor being able to win one of these district elections. Because let's be real about something. If you have a district election and you divide these districts up of the 5, it comes to about 18,000, a little over 18,000 people who would be representative of those districts. Now, of those 18,000, usually get 50% turnout, which in a high general election would be like 9,000. But let's just say that it's in the primary where you even get lower turnout. So you could have 3,000 or 4,000 people in a primary in each district doing these elections. So there's where it comes down to these parties both terrified of what may happen because they lose their grip when you dilute the representation down to these small levels. And it's easy for people when they're upset with someone that represents their district. If you don't truly represent your district, the people, it's much easier for them to vote you out. When you're talking about 3,000 or 4,000 people in a primary deciding they don't want you to represent their district anymore, it's much easier for that district to say you're not the person who should be going to represent them on that board of commission. And that, my friends, is putting the power back in the people's hand, which is what your political parties do not want on the local level. They don't want you to have that power. Let me just tell you, okay, Larry, are you just saying these and spewing this stuff? No, I am not. Larry Cox worked his way up the ranks of the Republican Party, became the chairman of the Rockdale County Republican Party. I became the chairman of the 4th Congressional District. I was not your conventional chairman. I didn't toe the party lines all of the time. I believed in what's right for the people, what's right for a community, and it's why I had to step away from a party, declare myself an independent, and do things that are truly beneficial for my community and my fellow citizens, because I don't believe that party membership or party loyalty actually helps you, the citizen, in any way whatsoever. Of course, you're going to have your the way you want to vote in the generals and the primaries and all this and everything. But when it comes down to it, a lot of times the person is what we should look at. We really should look at the person that's running for an office and what that person stands for. And does that person really have the best intention of the community at heart? And that's what we've got to dig deep into and start looking at a little deeper. And that's what I understand we need to do. I've seen some information this week, and actually somebody happens to be on the show that I actually seen some information about this week, and that's Kelly Hunter. She had a lawsuit against the county, and we understand through some open records requests that we've done that she did win her lawsuit, and we're going to be coming out with some totals and stuff and everything, because all that's it is available, but she won a suit, and we've also got a bunch of liens that we've had made available to us that the chairman has against him. And the most recent lien that we've seen is, we all know he was opening one of those smoke bars, one of those cigar bars, and he had some contractor do some work for him, doing some remodeling or such or whatever. And he did not pay the contractor, and the contractor has sued him and has been awarded a lien against him. And that's that's reality. That's reality. That's what's going on. So we've got a chairman. This thing about it over one of our counties next door to us. They just suspended one of the commissioners over there for going out to a bar, being drunk and hungover and acting ridiculous. But we've got a chairman who has multiple lawsuits, multiple liens, multiple irresponsibility financially. We have another commissioner who has been disbarred because basically defrauding clients out of money, taking money for services, not performing services. But it's okay for these guys to serve us, and worse than that, it's worse than that. We have people that that vote for these individuals in the county, and I think a lot of times they don't even know that these people are this terrible and that they're doing these kind of things. It is ridiculous that when we look at what's going on here in Rockdale County, that we have to put up with this. One of the major ways that we can do away with this is to expand our commission board, make it local, make it districts, make people accountable, and a lot of this stuff will change. When we talked about the county manager position at the town hall this week, and there was a lot of things enlightened about the county manager position. So what we found out was that the county manager, people were starting this rumors that the county manager would be able to spend money and allocate funds. And what we found is that's totally not true. The county manager would answer to the board as a whole. The chair position would be dissolved, and they would only elect among themselves someone they call the chair, who runs the meeting, but has no more power than any of the other five commissioners. There would be total of five, but has no more power than any of the other five. The only thing they would be was the ceremonial uh, running the meeting. The commission as a whole would set the agenda, set the directive, and the commission as a whole would direct the county manager on policy and procedure on what the daily running of the county would be. Then that county manager would run the county on a day-to-day basis based on the parameters that the board sets as a whole. Then we found out that they looked at a county that was very similar, Rome County. So they looked at Rome, Georgia, and I forget the county that Rome is in, but Rome is the seat. But that county's manager makes like $89,000 a year. And comparable because they've got like 98,000 people. Then they gave us a comparable number of what the average medium salary of a county manager in the state of Georgia was, and it was high 90s. I think it was like $96,000 that the average election of a county of the average pay of a county manager. We've got a couple of people that work for our board of commission that make in excess of $140,000 that are in there. That if this board of commission would do their due diligence, once expanded, we eliminate those positions and we take those salaries and we pay that county manager that under 100,000. Yeah, that's right. Sue Sanders' job description, same as a county manager. She makes over $140,000 a year. She's almost paid double what the average county manager in the state of Georgia is paid. It is ridiculous that a county, second smallest county in Georgia, is one of the highest paid county manager type positions in the state of Georgia. It is absolutely ridiculous. So when we look at that, and then they want to throw this thing, well, it's just going to cost all this money to do this. In fact, it will not cost all this money because when you look at the chairman's salary, once you make it five commissioners, eliminate the chairman position, the chairman's salary is enough to finance four. Can I say it? Four positions all on its own. We would be able to finance the existing position that the chairman would have, which would be, just a manager, and then the two additional. And if we wanted, we could actually fund another county manager out of the money. I mean, not another commissioner out of the money left over from the chairman's salary. So when the board of commission and the Democrat Party start touting this, it'll cost you so much money and it'll cost taxes to increase and this and that. They are lying to you and they are making that up. It will not cost one more dime. It will actually save you money by expanding the board and eliminating the chairman, eliminating two positions of bureaucrats that sit on that work for the board and have the county manager. We would save the county a couple $100,000 is what I believe it would end up. By doing this change, we save the county $100,000 to $200,000. Yep, and I challenge do real math and challenge me that those aren't feasible numbers. Do real math, challenge me that those are not feasible numbers because they are. That's reality. That's the reality of what could be if individuals in Rockdale County behave themselves. And this is what I was told this week that that Oz says he's not opposed to five commissioners, just that would like it to happen after he retires so he can get his retirement. Well, this county doesn't exist just to make sure he gets a retirement. So you and I are supposed to go through hell for another 4 or 6 years so that he can get a retirement that he wants. I don't think so. That's not what it's for. That's not what it's for. So guys, we need to stick together as a community. So let me tell you, can we make a difference in this county? Sure, we can make a difference in this county, but it's up to each and every one of us. It's up to each and every one of us with our vote to say we've had enough and it's time for change. It's up to each and every one of us to say that we want Rockdale County to be the Rockdale County we love. That we want Rockdale County to be that hidden gem it once was. And we can do that by not sending Sherry Washington and Osbeth back to office. We can do that. We can and we shall do that by not voting for those two individuals. It will send shockwaves through Rockdale County by not sending them back. And since I'm at it, and I'm not going to be on too much longer, I'm going to tout one of my other favorite candidates running for office next year. Oh, and that's me. Sorry, guys, but I am going to give myself a shameless plug. If you elect Larry Cox to the Board of Education next year, and I fight for a fair budget, a fair representation, so that the taxpayers are partners with the Board of Education in financing an affordable education and a quality education. So that's going to be crazy. That's going to be what we need to do. Corliss mentioned, please send emails to the legislators. So this coming week, the Rockdale voter, we will be sending emails out. I will be doing a Facebook blast. We will be doing email and Facebook blast about sending emails to Representative Deshaun Kendrick and Doreen Carter, because those are the two holdouts. Because I was assured Representative Angela Moore, Representative Rhonda Taylor, and Senator Tanya Anderson are 100% on board with the changes that need to be made to help Rockdale County move forward. One of the biggest things that I think they mentioned, that what they felt as it was the conflict, was the position of the Board of Commission of the chairman. The chairman now holds a legislative and an executive role, which is a big time conflict, because the chairman runs the day-to-day operation and is the executor, but also gets to pass and divvy legislation and influence legislation and vote on it, which is it's a big conflict, because then he is also the person that is actually divvying out contracts. So it's a big conflict for that chairman to be the day-to-day operator of the operations of the county, when they're also in the legislative portion of the county also. So I think that's one of the things that needs fixed, and it needs fixed immediately. So guys, I just want to tell you, I love this county, and I think together we're going to make a difference, because the people that are on this show tonight, they want to make a difference in Rockdale County, and they want Rockdale County to change. And there's just things that keep happening. Like you guys mentioned, the quarry thing that just happened. People are not happy about the quarry. But they get pissed off, don't want you guys to have a rodeo in North Rockdale. But hell, let's go put a mine in the middle of your subdivision. We don't want you to have a rodeo out in the middle of the country, but we're going to go ahead and put a mine in the middle of your subdivision. Tell me what freaking sense that makes, guys. What freaking sense that makes. And you're right, Kelly. Kelly mentioned it in my lawsuit, and Kelly just won her lawsuit against Oz Nesbitt and the county. But Kelly's not the only person that has won lawsuits and been awarded money against this chairman, this commission, and this county, because of the incompetent leadership and just the downright terrible behavior of the individuals that we elect to office. Guys, it's time for change. It's time for things. Somebody even criticized me the other day. I got a phone call, and they criticized the fact that I talked about the chairman and his domestic violence stuff or whatever, right? I stand behind it. It was a news article. I stand behind my talking about the being a disgraced police officer coming from Augusta, inappropriate behavior. It's all documented. You can go look up yourself, Google it, It's there, guys. Just if you've done something, it was Augusta. It was Augusta for sexual harassment. You're right, Kelly. But this thing about it, guys, if you've done these things in your past, you can't hide from them. You got to own them. Don't pretend you're something. If you've turned over another leaf, then quit hiding from who you are and who you were, because you're probably still that same person if you're hiding from it. So, guys, it's time for us citizens of Rockdale County to take this county back. Say enough's enough. We don't want those characters to be here anymore. So, guys, let's just say good night. I want to see you guys here next week at 8 o'clock. I know it's a holiday weekend, but I'm going to be full of turkey and dressing and still coming on Sunday. And we're going to talk Rockdale County, and we're going to talk about what's going on and what we need to do to fix it. Thanks again for coming on board. And remember, vote Larry Cox next fall. Thank you, guys. Next spring.